Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to be speaking about a topic that really doesn't get stale to me. It's a topic that I plan to speak about from time to time from different angles. I think it's a topic that needs to be spoken about more often. It's spoken about quite often, but it's spoken about quite often from a reactionary point of view. This topic is race. Now, what exactly do I mean by I'm talking about race? Well, yeah, I'm speaking about skin color. I'm speaking about the group with which you identify as well. And there's so many different parts of this that it's sometimes quite hard to really figure out where exactly you're going to go with it, right? Yeah, I know. But my objective right now is not to go through every single part of it, but just hit a few topics and see where I can go from there. So let me start now with the point about people not seeing color. Yes, some people are colorblind in this world, but fortunately, well, some people see it as fortunate, some people see it as unfortunate. Whether you see it, whichever way you see it, yeah, there's color, there's pigmentation, and somehow, and I'm saying somehow right now because I'm not going to get into that about the history of it that much. Somehow, there came some sort of socio-economic, socio-political, and juridical stratification, right? So what do I mean? I mean, we had societies in this world based upon segregating people according to their race. Your race and your complexion as well, not just your race, but your complexion, the hue, your complexion, depending on that, would tell you if you're whether or not you are in a lower class or a higher class or whatever. Like in Haiti, were you a bourgeois person? First of all, you had to have some money, yes, even if you're white. Petty bourgeois. You want to be a grand blanc? Hmm? Were you just in the mulattoes? Were you a slave? Just a colored? What were you? And today, we still have societies that are pigmentocracies, where it's an unwritten but often spoken about rule which says, hey, the lighter you are, the better off you're going to be. You find these all over the world. I'm not going to name any region, but you know the regions. And the problem there seems to be in this is that people start to get a certain level of status from this skin complexion. People start to marry, have sex for a lighter skinned child to move up in society, or at least in the eyes of people, even though money rules the world now, right? No. The thing is, with the rise of groups such as Black Lives Matter, and then other groups such as All Lives Matter, we have a situation where people are having a confrontation of ideas. And that's fine. Ideas will come into conflict at points in time. Points in time. But as we already know from, I'm sure many people have done videos about it already. Black Lives Matter is about Black Lives Mattering insofar as society sees them as negligible. And All Lives Matter is a reaction to that, where some people seem not to understand that it is by saying Black Lives Matter, no one is excluding other races from the discourse, but one race is sticking up for itself, just like others have, and saying, hey, something is adversely affecting us and we're sticking up for it. Of course, there is an argument to be made that Black Lives Matter itself, and if you want to kill me for saying this, well, go ahead. Black Lives Matter itself is a reactionary group. And there's nothing exactly wrong with having reactionary groups. I mean, when you think about it, most things are a reaction to something. Something happens, you react to it, then at some point in time, we can call it proactive. So fine. But black people have been systemically, somehow, I say racism is systemic in the United States of America to a large extent. Systematically, somehow, people of color, and I tend to link everybody as black. Once I tend to link every single person in the world as black, no matter how light skinned you are, right? But for this conversation, speaking about people of color, we have Latinos, we have people you customarily know as black. You know, they're singled out. All these Hispanics are singled out for their race, and all of a sudden, well, what people call their race, anyways, we get in discussion about that later on too. Well, exactly what is a race? But I'm just speaking colloquially right now, and somehow the system is saying, hey, these people, something's wrong with them. They're always going to be up to no good. Well, no, they're not always going to be up to no good. Often they're up to very much good, but it is about how society views them. But why does the society view them that way today? It's because of a history of this thing we call racism, where you view people, and I'm not going to try to define racism because I don't need to do that. If you don't know what it is, well, then you need to go and find a dictionary. What I'm going to talk about, and what I am talking about, is that stratification and that subjugation of people, the persecution of people, putting them below because you think that their skin color means that they're below you. Some people in this world do not see color. They say they don't see color. That's another problem, as I was saying earlier. It's a problem or a challenge because in not seeing color, you ignore a person's identity. That is their color. Now, people might say you should not have your identity in your melanin or non-melanin, but you can't tell people what their identity is all about. They also come from societies where identity is based on these things. I mean, come on, you go outside and you see a person, what do you see? You see the person's skin, white, black, what's a person? Come on. You don't see and we can't tell you what to see, but on the same hand, you obviously see the color. When you don't see color, what does that mean? What does it really mean to not see color? Are you just avoiding certain realities of life? If you're avoiding certain realities of life, well, you need to get yourself on the gravy train where you understand that, you know what, there are realities in this life. There are things going on. And you're not seeing color actually puts you as part of the problem. Do you want to be part of the problem? I don't think so. If it is that you are saying you don't see color, it is for you, I hope, a way of symbolizing that you are beyond any victimization of others based on their color. But if that's the case, then maybe you could take the next step. See, you have not taken a step above anybody else or beyond. Could you take the next step to see the color? Maybe you needed to be blinded to take time to resolve your issues, whatever issues there are, if you had any at all, to come to the realization that, hey, there is color. I know I'm no longer blind, and you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm going to be able to say, hey, yeah, there's color. I see it. My children see it, and it's okay. You know, in being able to see color, there are beautiful things about that. We wouldn't want a black and white, or we wouldn't want a gray rainbow. We'd want a rainbow that, well, I hope you'd want a rainbow that represented the true beauty of the world. Imagine someday if we're able to see even more colors out there in the spectrum with our naked eyes, as naked as they could be. I didn't really plan for this to be any sort of long video. What I want to say is that whether it is that you are white or black, we're all in this together. And what I mean by that is not some kumbaya thing. There is another force out at work. Race is extremely important, but the topic of class is actually very important as well. We're living in societies where if you don't have a certain amount of money, you're no one, or you're a failure, or it's permissible to mistreat you. Many people who are shot on the streets are in a certain class and are shot. The race carries them to be shot allows for them to be shot no matter what class. And you know what? Especially those who are in what we would call worse off situations economically than others, they have little recourse to actually seek remedy when something happens to their family members or to them. What that means is, if you don't have money, you're screwed. And the reason you don't have as much wealth is not because it's not, you just grew up in this circumstance. Often it's that the system is rigged, not in your favor. Taxation is put to take money out of your hands. Those things that are supposed to help you, food stamps or what's not, or fed to you during an election cycle is actually something bad for you. Sometimes it may be welfare, sometimes it's bad. Some economists say. We can talk about that another time. But you know what? It gives adverse effects when taken in too high a number, or amount, depending on how you're looking at it. But you know what? I think we all deserve to have a really decent standard of living, regardless of where we are in life. Regardless. Absolutely regardless. If there's a topic that you want to hear me talk about, let me know. What I aim to do is to bring the academic down to the more real life situations out there. I'm sorry, today I'm a bit subdued, it seems, right, with this video, but happens sometimes. What I want to say is, if you believe in a vision, somehow it's going to happen, and there are those out there who are believing in their visions to make their groups matter, and where you can collaborate, and where you cannot, well, okay, where it be more feasible to go without collaboration, okay, but make this life the best for you it can be. For the black people out there, your skin is beautiful. You're every much as a human as anyone else. I love myself, and I hope you will love yourself too. Enjoy your hair, enjoy your skin, enjoy your lips, enjoy your teeth. You mean there's so many things that black people have been somehow subjugated to and so many people have held them to be inferior. This is a confluence age where people are regaining their consciousness, and I'm happy I'm part of it. I'm happy to be here with you, and I hope I can have many more conversations for whomever it is who's out there, whenever, in whichever age, and whichever day, who's there to hear what I have to say and have a conversation with me. Until next time, you know what you can do. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm on Instagram at World Coach, and Real Talk.bb is on Facebook. You can like us there. If you have any thoughts, leave them below, and I'll be happy to get back to you. Alright, thank you.